Hello, everyone. Welcome. MTL Sports here. One episode 153, guys. It's a pretty light news week, so we got a kind of a shorter episode in mind today. But we still got to cover the Final Four happens this weekend, so we'll preview that along with some NFL, NBA, and also, of course, we still on the NCAA men's basketball topic. So we got some Mason news coming fresh from today, so we got to cover that as well. So, with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Let's start in NFL. We got a little bit of news, not too much going on, but there's some things that happened. First, Gino finally got his extension. Let me pull that up for you guys. I think he got extra 2 years on top of the 1 year he's already had. 2 years, $75 million, 66 and total guaranteed money. So Las Vegas got their quarterback. I know there was like inklings that they might still dabble with quarterback, but now you pay Gino this much money, you're not gonna take a quarterback. You're just gonna rock with Gino and probably maybe AOC. They'll keep AOC on the roster.
Well, they could get a quarterback in the late third, early fourth kind of thing. See, go like a guy who had a pretty good college career, probably, but I mean, Gino gets this because at the Raiders, isn't Pete Carroll part of their front office?
He's the head coach.
Well, there you go. This is Gino has the ability to scramble and throw it deep, which is exactly how Pete Carroll likes his quarterback.
Yeah, that's the Pete formula. So hopefully he plays well there. He played pretty decent in Seattle behind a pretty bad offensive line. So I wonder what he can do in.
He's not going to much better of an O line.
Yeah, that's true, and they don't have a running back either. So this pretty much solidifies them taking Genty at 6. Pretty much give him another weapon.
Or they're going to go defense because they think they can get running back later on. Or either way, yeah.
Another deal. Trey McBride, 4 years, $76 million. I mean, handsomely paid. 43 guaranteed. I like Trey. I think he's one of the best tight ends. Although I think last year though he didn't get into the end zone until like week 15 or 16, right? Like he was putting up the stats, but he just wasn't getting touchdowns. So last year you can't really say he was a red zone threat, but he's a guaranteed catcher. So what do you think about this one?
I mean, that just kind of shows that he's like not selfish, I guess, in a way. Because Marvin Harrison was milking those. Kyler Murray scrambles, he blocks for him. There's just multiple ways they're getting touchdowns elsewhere. But as long as he's fitting their scheme, which he is, I mean, I don't know. There's always like, as soon as you pay a guy that hasn't really proven everything to you, I kind of want to go to like a Kyle Pitts of the world for tight ends. But I would put him probably a little, I don't know, like a little bit of an impact player, a little bit above Kyle Pitts. Just because, I don't know, you go games where he's just lost and he's never getting the ball, but I don't think I ever really saw a Cardinals game in which McBride didn't have at least 3 to 4 catches.
Yeah, he's very versatile. I had him on my fantasy team, so you're right. Like some games he disappears, but then other games you're like, wow, this guy's actually really good. So yeah, he's in my top 5 tight ends. Maybe not 1, 2, or 3, but he's hanging around that 4 or 5 area.
He's strong in when he does.
So they tabled the Tush push for now. I think they didn't have enough votes. I think at the most they had like 16. They need 24 to get the pass. But I think Goodell came out and said that he wants it gone. So I think they're going to try and switch up the wording, the language or something to make it easier to get this pass. What do you think, Lawrence? I know we talked about this before, but do you think they'll get this done before the league year starts?
I think they will. I think that it's just one of those things. Someone found a broken play and they took advantage of it while they could. But at the end of the day, all good things do have to come to an end because, in my opinion, it is it is a broken play. Let's just be realistic and call it what it is. It's a broken play. There's just from the defensive standpoint, there's no way to counter it the way they built their O line. But it's also something that, like, I don't know, it's not the traditional way of scoring a touchdown. It's just really not. It, I want to say it just kind of kills some of the fun in it. But let's be realistic. Jalen Hurts probably still gets most of those without the push, based on how much he can bench or not bench, sorry, squat.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Eagles just found a broken play that just fits their scheme. They got the personnel for it now. Not every team has the personnel for it. So you saw, the Bills. They tried it, and in the AFC Championship game, I think it got stopped twice. So it's not necessarily a guaranteed first down, a guaranteed touchdown. It's just that the Eagles have perfected it, and there's seemingly no other team that can routinely stop it. Now, this team has stopped it, but not routine. So I think it has like an 86 or 87% success rate. So um, I'm not a hater. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm also like I'm in the boat of just you shouldn't ban something just because you can't stop it. So I don't know. We'll
I
see.
agree.
We'll
I'm
see
with
if this
you.
gets
I
tabled.
don't want them to ban it, but I also want to see a little bit more entertainment out of games sometimes.
Yeah, no, I get you. It gets kind of annoying when they do it when it's like third and short, fourth and short, but honestly, I think they'll find a way around it. They got the personnel; they can easily do something else.
And they can always
Um,
word it in any way possible to. I mean, Goodell's going to find his way. And
mhm.
honestly, if Goodell did it, all the Eagles fans are going to be upset. And honestly, for me, I'm probably not going to care that much because, I mean, Eagles fans are annoying enough as it is. It'd be nice to watch them squirm about something else.
Yep, I'm right there with you. Last NFL news of the day: Cowboys seemingly out of nowhere trade for Joe Milton. So the Pats send Milton and I think a seventh rounder to them boys, the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys sent back a fifth round pick for this year. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. I thought Trey Lance played well in that last regular season game, where Jerry Jones kind of played Trey Lance to get out of paying Cooper Rush his little bonus. So I don't know. What do you make of this?
I don't think it. I don't think it adds anything to their team that isn't already there. I Some may say that it's not really. I wouldn't say it's something that pushes the needle, but we've also never seen what Joe Milton can do outside of preseason games. And honestly, it's a good shout because regardless of seeing that Trey Lance was decent in his final game, he still was a high overall pick that still isn't pushing the needle. I say in their quarterback room in certain ways based on that move. I think they want personally. I think they want like a complete opposite of Dak to see how it can work, how it can manage. And I think Milton can get out of the pocket. Dak, ever since he destroyed his ankle, does not get out of the pocket.
Mm-mm. I think you're right. I think Nolan did play the last game of the regular season, right? When Drake May didn't Drake May like hurt something, and so they started Joe Milton, and then they won that game or something.
He may
He didn't
have.
look too bad either.
Can't can't quote you on that, but I also won't say you're incorrect either. But I do remember seeing his highlights during preseason games, and I was just like, guys, you
Yeah,
gotta. I thought there was gonna be no way that he didn't make a roster, in which he did. But
yeah. He's a young, exciting prospect. Hopefully, he gets some more attention in Dallas. Now let's move on to the Final Four. Starts this weekend. I think we got both games on the 5th. So what's that? Saturday?
Saturday,
Uh,
and then the finals on Monday.
on Monday, championship on Monday. Let's start with the first game. 6:09 p.m. Auburn, Florida. Um, I think I had these two in my Final Four in my bracket. I don't know about you, Lawrence, but who do you have in this one? What are you expecting out of this game?
Well, pretty insane to see all the number ones make it. I don't think I've seen that before. But I'm gonna have to ride with the Gators here. Uh, I don't know, just finishing the season off, winning the SEC tournament. Every game outside of, I would say, the Texas Tech one, very strong. But then I think the ability to close in the Texas Tech game, um, really gives them that leg to stand on. I mean, they took care of business against Maryland. Maryland probably had it like it was about where everyone was marking Florida to lose if they were going to lose. I took the Gators to win it on overall, and I'm just not willing to go back on that after watching Auburn. Was it Brom, something like that, get injured? Like this
Oh yeah.
man, like hyperextended half his body. I know those are kind of quick things to bounce back from, but the rest of the game, like that shoulder that he hurt, did not look, functional. He was literally letting it dangle, and he was just running back and forth up the court. If his effectiveness is a little bit tainted, I mean, these teams know each other. They're going to play each other hard, but I picked the Gators to win it up overall, so I'm going to have to ride it.
Fair enough. I think. I mean, for me, the Gators maybe not the best team overall in the whole tournament, but they had the most explosiveness. You see them come back in a couple of games during the tournament. And Clayton Jr. is a big shot taker and a big shot maker. Man, this kid is insane. It's been a while since I've seen a kid who just he don't care. He's unconscious. He's just taking big shots and making them. So Auburn has played well all throughout the tournament, but I don't think it's been really convincing. It's just like, yeah, Auburn, they probably should win, and then they do win. But the Gators, they've been winning in exciting fashion. Besides the Maryland game, they kind of just pummeled Maryland, but um, we kind of saw that coming when with their coach leaving to go to Villanova. Team was probably a little down in the dumps about that. So yeah, I'm with you. In one bracket, I got Florida winning it all. Another one, I got Florida versus Duke in the final. So I'm gonna go with the Gators in this one. Now we move on to Duke versus Houston, the second of the Final Four games. Um, what are your thoughts about this, Houston? I think this might be their first Final Four under Sampson. I know he's gone to a couple of Elite Eights and Sweet 16s, but I think this might be his first Final Four. So maybe he can break through and go to a championship game. And Duke under Shire, um, hey man, he's killing it as Coach K's replacement. I got nothing but props up for him for keeping the program, going after Coach K, decided to retire. So who do you have in this one, Lawrence?
I'm gonna I'm gonna go with my gut and say Houston, just for their
Mm.
defense and what they've shown all season. I I just have a hard time riding with Duke because of how so far in this tournament how bad the ACC has looked. I mean, the rest of the ACC went out first round, and a lot of them barely put up fights. Clemson had a historically bad game. Louisville got pounded. There's just a lot of things to show a red flag to, and then this Clemson team is the one that beat Duke, so they can be beaten. And I mean, honestly, if Cooper Flag comes out like he did against who did Duke play last game?
Play at Alabama in the
Alabama.
Elite Eight.
If Cooper Flag comes out like he played against Alabama, I don't know if they beat Houston because he took too many shots and he was not effective. A lot of like Proctor kind of bailed him out. There was a lot of guys stepping up in that game, and I just feel like overall Houston's defense with the clutch play they've shown, and honestly, the way they played all season. Uh, it's hard to say it either way though, because both of them had awesome records. Both of them have awesome seasons, and they're both number ones for a reason. But I'm just gonna give the little edge, I guess, in my head to Houston.
Fair enough. I'm going opposite. I'm gonna go Duke. I think Duke's been the best team all tournament. I mean, even with Cooper Flag playing bad, I mean, he didn't play well. He played pretty bad. Not to say he played awful, but he played pretty bad. Holding Alabama to what, high 50 points when Alabama's a scoring machine. I mean, that's pretty impressive. They got the three-headed monster, Flag, Knipple, and I forget who's the third guy, the power forward center. They got a trio there that's just killing it. And then you got Proctor too, who's hitting big time shots, stepping in when Flag's been some games he's inefficient. But yeah, if Flag comes out and just has a decent game, I think Duke easily wins this one. I mean, all around, they got the offense. They damn sure got some good defense. And Houston, yeah, they got the clutchness. And they got good players as well, but I think this Duke team, they just been looking like the best team all tournament, so I'm not going to go against them.
Fair enough.
Cool. So yeah, this is Saturday, Final Four. Make sure you guys watch that. Moving on to some more NCAA basketball news. We got some good news coming out of Mason. I know today's Mason. I think it's Vision Day. A lot of donors, big time donors, and a lot of other people, alumni raising money for the all the athletic programs and whatnot. That also comes with some transfers who commit to the program. Coach Skin, if you guys didn't know, I think right after we finished recording last week, they signed him to an extension through 2030, making him, if not the highest paid, one of the highest paid, right, Lawrence, in the A10. He's around $1.8 million per season.
Yep.
Um,
It's good money for a man.
So shout out to Coach Ken. He's killing it. He deserves every penny, every dollar that they give him. Yeah, you can see right here, just a little FOIA request from his salary. So he's getting about 1.8, and then if he stays until the 2028 season, that's when he'll hit about $2 million. So he deserves every dollar. That man can coach, and I'm glad we locked him up. Doesn't mean he's going to stay here the whole extension, but at least Mason's being competitive with their coaches finally.
And at least,
but they did. Oh, go ahead.
At least he's trying to stay with us too. I mean, after the season he had, like he didn't even need to talk extensions or anything. He could have pushed himself out the door like English did as well.
Yeah, he could have easily went somewhere else. I mean, there were some teams hot on his trail. I know Maryland. I know he had an interview with Maryland. Now, I don't know if that was more of a courtesy interview, like, hey, I'll interview for you guys, but I'm probably not taking the job. Who knows? We probably won't know because it's too late. He's here, but it's definitely some Power 5 schools looking to pry him away, just like UVA did with Ryan Odom, right? Is that the coach's name from VCU?
Yes. That is his name.
Cool. First transfer with a commit to Mason. We got this Mount St. Mary's transfer, Dola Adebayo. 13 points a game, basically, and 7 rebounds. You did a little research on him, Lawrence. Do you think how will he fit on this team? I think we were talking before we started recording that he's probably going to replace Haynes most likely if Haynes doesn't come back. You don't think Haynes is coming back?
Well, I don't think Haynes is coming back, but he's a little bit smaller. Like, if I look correctly, he's only about 6'6", 6'5".
Oh, okay.
So he's smaller.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I feel like he hasn't. I don't think he's found his big guy yet, and I think he's still going to try to keep Haynes. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of saying earlier that you know, being an all A10 player, first team at that, you think Haynes would have found a new home by now. But who knows? He might still come back. But I think there's, like you said, there's still a good chance he probably goes elsewhere. But so he's 6'8", but yeah, he is kind of not big body like Haynes is. So I think you still got to go out there and get you a true center, maybe someone at least 6'9", 6'10" ish. But I think he definitely takes what's his name spot, Zach Anderson. Anderson kind of played the four, so he's at least taking his spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, then a second commit of today. Crazy username, Fat Glizzy, but Jeremiah Hill from Ball State committed to Mason. His don't know too much about him, but just looking at his stats, he seems like he is a kind of a slasher who can defend. Is kind of the profile I got from him. So maybe just Billups with a little bit more scoring prowess, but still not the 3-point shooter we need. How do you think he fits into the team next season?
Well, first things first, he kind of fits the George Mason mold of not being able to shoot a three, of being able to drive the lane, and play
Yep.
defense. So I guess we kind of understand our goal every off season. Even though we hope and wish they always bring in a 3-point shooter every year, they kind of don't. Um, Hopefully
Yeah.
they still have ideas of doing that. But from what we've seen on the paper and what he could do, I think it's good to get these like mid-major guys because all he's trying to do is make that push to the next level, and the next level is like I guess high mid-major like we are.
Yeah, I would say we're high. We're probably at the top. A10 is probably the top of the mid majors.
Yeah, the A10, even though we can still only get one bid.
Hey, hopefully that changes next year. They gotta work on some scheduling improvements to give us a better look against some of these metrics, I guess the quad metrics and whatnot. Um, yeah, as this little blog, this GMU blog has it, not the best shooter. Shot 33% from 32 years ago, so not the best, but everything else is pretty well rounded. This is from a scale of 20 to 80, so if he's getting 60s on most of his stuff, um, I feel like he's a good player. I just gotta watch some film on him to give you guys an accurate representation of him. But I think he's a good transfer. We still got a couple kids that are coming for visits, so hopefully he'll find a shooter in one of these kids because on the roster, other than Beg, I don't think they really have a shooter going into next season. I don't
Yeah,
think anyone else can shoot, right?
and I don't know if I want Beg to be my go-to 3-point shooter because if they didn't really want to use him last year when they kind of needed to, it doesn't mean they're probably means they're probably not going to do it again.
Yeah. I don't even think as a sophomore he will start because he's probably going to be behind Jeremiah Hill, and I'm assuming O'Connor. He's probably staying, so he probably going to start again next year. So Beck is probably at most a 6 man. So they got to find a starter who can shoot threes because that was the weakness of the last 2 3 years.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, no more Mason news, but we'll keep you guys updated with everything.
Always, always with the
Um,
Mason news.
Other than that, like I said, light news week, NBA, not too much going on. Um, Dylan Brooks, I think, suspended for one game because he reached his 16th technical. Um, the three Sixer stars are, they're gonna miss the rest of the season. Maxi, something's wrong with his finger, so he's sitting out the rest of the year. But they need to tank anyway to keep their pick this year. Other than that, not too much NBA news. I think the play-in starts in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So we'll talk more NBA around that time. Anything else you want to go over, Lawrence? I know the UFL started last week. Our defenders actually beat the defending champs last week. I was highly surprised. I know you weren't too high on them, but they pull out a dub.
They did pull out a dub, and it's kind of nice to see. I did bet against them. I thought there was a lot of turmoil, in my opinion, going into the year, but apparently they're just going to prove everybody wrong and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter if our coach left. We're still going to be good."
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the first half, but I did catch the second half, and I will say the defense from 2 years ago is back. I think we went to the championship, right? 2 years ago. I think that kind
Hmm.
of defensive style is back. They play really good defense. Now, offensively, they ain't got too much. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's Tamu and it's this little number 12 guy. I don't know his name, but he's like the mixed Russ Walker. Like he's kind of short, but he's really quick, really fast. Got good hands. You can tell he's like the key to the offense. So um, those are my impressions of the first game. I think they got something that they can work with going into week two. I think we play Saturday night against the Showboats. I don't know if the Showboats are good or not, but
I don't believe they
we are
are, but
favorite 8.5.
let's not let's not quote on that. But from prior years' knowledge, showboats have never been anything amazing.
Fair enough. We are defenders are an 8.5 point favorite, and the over under is sitting pretty low to be honest. 37's the lowest of the whole UFL weekend. So should be an interesting game. Your boy might be showing up to that one. Anything else? I think the UFC is this weekend as well. Not too sure.
Well, did you hear about the talks that they might postpone the UFC event?
Nope, you gotta inform me about this one. I didn't know what's going on.
So the possibilities of I think it was Australian gangs being involved with one of the fighters. Well, that's Volkanovski's card. Um, I think it was April 12th. They're talking about postponing that one possibly because let me get this guy. Let me get the right name. Uh,
Is it this one I have on the screen? This Suman?
yes.
Oh,
Apparently he has mobsters mad at him.
damn. So they're gonna postpone. Don't they have a pay-per-view? Is that what you're talking about? The pay-per-view is in
That
Australia, right?
that's the pay-per-view in Australia. That's like I think a week out, 2 weeks out. But yeah, we don't know what's going down with that one. We truly don't.
Damn. So do you think they'll still have it in April? I mean, WrestleMania is, I think, 2 weeks out too. So I don't think they would have the UFC fight the same night as WrestleMania.
I personally don't believe that they're ever going to postpone it. I feel like
Yeah.
his mentality would probably just be uh, up. Let's just go higher strong on security. Um, I don't know. I just feel like Dana White is always going to have his performances played. I don't. He doesn't seem like a man that strikes me to play around with his fight card.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I guess we gotta keep an eye on this. I did not know about this. I did see what Sean O'Malley and Marab are their rematches in June in New Jersey.
He promises to have a better performance.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll
I don't
cover
know. I
that
feel it's
with
going to be
that.
hard to have a better performance, given that his opponent just likes to hug the whole fight. So
Yeah, I'm there with you. I don't see a different outcome happening, but we shall see. We shall see. A couple months left to go on that. Other than that, guys, I think we're gonna call it a night. MTL Sports episode 153. We'll catch up with you guys next week. Enjoy the Final Four. Hopefully, you guys, your team wins and your bracket wins. You get some money. So, with all that being said, guys, we'll head on out. Peace.
Peace out.